Welcome to Duo Q episode number 3. Today I am joined by Ford TV, also known as Felix. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Thanks for having me. I hope for a good show.
Yeah. It's been an interesting week. A lot of patch notes. Also, we had the exhibition matches with the Sentinels and G2, and there was also that Moist Moguls one as well. And we're also going to talk a little bit about, the end of the 2023 season, maybe give out some awards. No, we don't have the Why It's Weekly award. We don't have little trophies just laying around. So sad. I'll tell production to work on that one. We'll get it one day. Let's start with you, Ford. How did you kind of get into the YouTube space yourself?
Well, I originally played a lot of Counter-Strike. So I started Counter-Strike with it like 2014, 2015. So I played a lot of that, and like a lot. So when I saw Valorant came out, I was actually a bit apprehensive at first because I was like quite a CS purist, I would say.
Oh, wow.
I still watch a lot of Counter-Strike right now. So I bet the only esport I really watched was Counter-Strike. So when I came across, I got a beta key and I was like, okay, this game's all right. It's all right. There's some things that could be changed, like the Raze nade and beta was very annoying.
Oh yeah, she had two. I hear the horror stories.
And the satchels would just own you. But when I got to get into YouTube, originally I just wanted to. I'd done my degree in film.
Oh, nice.
So I'd finished it, and I hadn't done editing for quite a while because I specialized in editing, traditional editing in film school. I hadn't done much in a while, so I was like, I need to try something. So I'd been watching other YouTubers in the Valorant space. I was like, I could do something like that, but like add a bit, more of a story element to it.
What time was that? Because I got into it pretty late.
Pretty late. So this was like beginning of this year.
Oh, okay. Same.
I've been watching a lot of like Valorant stuff before and other just around esports and stuff. So I was watching. Of course, I watched the Score Esports, Commend, and all that.
Oh yeah, all those guys. Absolutely.
So my original videos are pretty. My first 2 videos were like tier lists of all the teams in franchising, which gives you a perspective of how late I was to it. So this was before lock-in, and they were all right. They were pretty poor videos, but then I'm just experimenting with a bunch of different styles of videos, and
yeah, I like the paper in the background changing. I'm not sure why, but it just tickles my brain in a way that I don't understand.
That is something I've been working with pretty recently. I found I was on TikTok. TikTok's very useful for finding free stuff. There's this guy, I can't remember his channel, but he was like, yeah, there's some free assets you can get. 4K assets. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I've always wanted to use these sort of style of paper and stuff. And I was like, maybe I can try and put this into a Valorant video, and try and and then I did that first. I think it was the Rainer one, which is one of my most popular videos. And a lot of comments were like, this is like a history documentary. And I was like, oh, fair enough. I'll take that. Because that's something that hadn't been seen, I guess, in Valorant. So in Valorant YouTube before. But yeah, that was how I got into it. Just I wanted to practice my editing because I was really rusty. If you look back at my first videos, they're not the best edited, but I think it's gradually gotten better.
Funny story about editing, because you're saying I went through film school, and then I gotta practice and stuff like that. For me, it was not like that at all. I'm a CS major, I do computer science.
Yep.
And in high school I used to do video editing. I wanted to be I'm in the area where George Lucas came from, so I was oh, I want to be the next George Lucas. And then I did a little for our high school, we did a little Star Wars themed week or something like that, and we did a video, and I edited that, and then I knew I was right then and there I was yeah, I'm not good enough to make movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, when I was in, I guess, high school. It's not sixth form is what we call in the. Oh, I'm blurring out. Hang on, let me just.
Thank you.
When I was in high school or sixth form, as it's called in the UK. I was split between 2 parts because I studied computer science A level, which is I guess it's the equivalent of the first 2 years of college in America or university in America. But then I was really interested in like film on the side. And I was like, I'll do film. I'll probably enjoy it more. So that's why.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like looking back out now, I'm like, oh, I could have, if I just would have put in like actual time and effort, I could have probably done it too.
Yeah, it's the first hurdles to get over it. It's so much stuff you have to learn.
No, and even like my content, like all of you guys that I've interviewed, you guys have such better editing styles. Mine's just like throw random VCT clips together and voice over it. And so I'm trying to work on that, but it's progress. You got to make a lot of progress on that.
Yeah.
So, all right. What was like the video that like kind of put you on the map? Like, did you pop off, or was it like kind of gradual?
I popped off, I guess you could say. It was actually it was a video with 10s in the thumbnail, and I believe.
Oh, it's like the first search on YouTube.
It makes it
right?
Yes, it might be.
The greatest pro play on every Valorant agent.
Yes, and it doesn't have a great thumbnail. I remember people liked the editing. It was a clips thing, but I remember I was like,
I think I might have watched. I think I might have watched that one. That's maybe how I found you.
It might have been that, but so I was like, oh, I need to do something kind of cool. So I'd have like the little animations of the icons coming in and like the players, like custom. Well, they were like custom made like borders for the player images and stuff. But I was like, that was the first one, and I think that the reason why that popped off is a lot of the picks initially were quite. A lot of people would get like a lot of comments about it, and I think the way to get the video popped off was because people were like commenting, "Oh, this is not a good play," and then people are like, "Oh no, it is the best play. Oh no, it is."
Oh, so I got a lot of engagement basically.
Yeah, so a lot of engagement in it. I think that's the reason, because there's a lot of contention when it comes to like who's the best player, what's the best play. I think the biggest one people had a problem was the boy Astra one, and that was the one which is one of the sickest plays. But is it a good Astra play? It's more just aim. I was like, I think it's one of the craziest plays in Valorant ever. Whereas the one on Ascent, where he gets the ace, turns around, he gets 3 kills, turns around, and they collapse the next 2, all with a phantom as well. So, but yeah, that was the one that was most contentious, and that had a lot of comments. I remember on that video.
Yeah. I think I didn't actually I've been watching your videos for a bit, like I guess probably more than 5 months, but I didn't actually reach out to you until maybe 2 months ago, maybe something like that.
I think so, 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, it was the video where you were doing the predictions for champions.
With my dog. Your
dog. I don't know how, but the YouTube algorithm pushed the hell out of that video.
I think it pushed it. It's the fastest growing video I've had, but then it just stopped. It just stopped at 10k views. So it got 2,000 views in the first 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
And it slowed off. I don't know what happened with that. It was strange, because other ones, I remember the Deadlock video wasn't great performing, and then that got pushed because of the Reyna video, and now that's my most viewed video, which is the YouTube algorithm is a mystery to me.
Yeah, I'm not particularly great. I don't know how. I guess people just like negativity is my theory, because everything that I do with Haters Guide, it always just does well, and then the moment I do something else, it's not as much. For example, the podcasts aren't doing particularly good, but it's a passion project that I have.
It's the contention in the comments. I think that pushes. If people argue in the comments, then your video is going to just be pushed. So
yeah,
I think that's what happens.
Yeah, just gotta be a little controversial enough to get engagement. Bit. Yeah,
just salt.
Yeah, you can't be saying outlandish things in your videos.
No.
Yeah. I don't know, that champions video, the dog did it for me. Like
The
it kind
dog, you
of
know.
it separates it from like all the other stuff, and like I think like for the most part, a lot of like what was going on at Champions, the reason why maybe that stuff sort of just fell off a cliff, like algorithm wise, is that like a lot of teams got like eliminated
Yeah,
the
no.
first couple weeks, and then there was just like people just leave like once their team is gone.
It's gone. Yeah, a lot of the big hitters went out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because I was doing This Week in Valorant for Champions, and the first week it was great. I got a video with like 30K views, and then the next one was 17, and then the next one was like 5, and I was like, what is going on? And
yeah,
someone in the comments was like, oh, you know, it's probably just because like, you know, people are just losing interest, and it made total sense.
it may, yeah. That's it probably. That is
Yeah.
it.
Okay, patch notes for the upcoming week.
Yeah, this is very interesting. I mean,
Yeah, let's start with the Raze. Like you said, like she had 2 paint shells before, but now, I mean, not that she had it recently, but she has 1 paint shell, and that's getting pretty much a bunch of changes this week.
yeah, I mean, the damage is. I think it's a good change. Honestly, saying that she's gonna be nerfed into the ground, not really.
No, it's
Because
very
her-
minimal.
Her the whole thing is literally her satchels and her nade being like really specific zoning tools, right? If you're good with the nade, if you're precise with the nade, it's gonna be very useful. So
Yeah, so
it's kind of like the Jet. It's like Jet wasn't really nerfed into the ground. She's still
no,
so.
and I think the team at Valorant has been pretty good about like doing things gradually and not making like jerky moves. Like the last one that I was like, oh my goodness, like this is like the character's dead was Chamber. And to be fair,
Chamber's is still viable.
no, he is viable, but I feel like he's viable because other things have happened and not necessarily because.
Yeah.
Anyhow, like I'm fine with it. Like I think the change is very good. Like when they nerfed Jet that first time, they removed the smoke and not removed the smoke. They decreased the smoke and they removed one of the updrafts. It was okay. Like I still miss the second updraft, but you know, it's fine.
That is sad. You can't see the double updraft plays anymore. It's very sad.
Like that was the one thing I didn't like was like when she would dash updraft and then updraft again to like move out of space. I was like, oh, I don't like that because you could just miss and then do a bunch of things to dodge stuff.
Yeah, you get a second life basically.
Yeah. Okay, so paint shells. Primary grenade explosion radius from 6 meters to 5.5 meters. Secondary grenade explosion radius 6 meters to 5.25 meters. Primary grenade explosion minimum damage from 15 to 1. Secondary grenade explosion minimum damage 15 to 1. And damage multiplier to enemy utility 250 to 100. I think for me the best part of all of this is the enemy utility multiplier, because there would be a lot of times people would just throw nades into utility like blindly and just nail it every time.
Yeah.
Also like the KJ lockdown, people would just throw a nade at it and that would be it.
The Lotus one, I don't know, on A site, I think the nade just destroys it every time. The one where it's like behind the box. You'd see that every pro game. You'd see someone, they would get onto A site, they'd be playing Killjoy for retake with the ult, but then they would just have the Raze nade saved and destroy it every time. So yeah, that's kind of good.
Blast pack. Satchels doesn't deal damage until fully armed, and satchel arm time increased from 0.5 seconds to 1.5 seconds. I'm fine with this actually.
It's interesting. This buffs Sentinels.
Yeah,
so
quite a bit, because you would see a lot of like the Cypher trips, like people would just throw a satchel at it to destroy it or something. So I mean, I'm fine with it. Like to me, the satchel thing is more of a movement thing. It should have never been like a damage thing, because I'm sure you've seen some videos out there where they throw the satchel at someone's face and it explodes.
So it's a classic. It's
yeah.
good. I mean, you can still use it to bump off enemies, which is very fun to do. But it just
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
do as
fine.
much damage.
But that it doesn't do damage until it's fully armed, I think that's perfectly fair.
Yeah, I think
Go ahead.
generally just uppens the skill ceiling of Raze, because you can just before you just throw the nade willy-nilly, you might get a lucky bit of damage, but now you have to be way more precise with it. So
Yeah,
that's what it's going to do.
Cypher, he's also getting a lot of changes.
I think he's gonna be one of the most craziest agents, strongest agents in the game now.
Yeah, I've seen some of the setups people are posting, and I'm like, this is impossible to destroy. The tripwire, decreased time until the trap concusses captured enemy 3 seconds to 1.5. That is fast. It's after concussing an enemy or an enemy in the trap being killed, the trap wire no longer destroys itself, but instead rearms after 0.5 seconds, allowing it to ensnare another enemy.
A lot of stuff gets nerfed. Sky gets nerfed because of this.
Yeah.
Sova gets nerfed, but KO gets buffed, so I'm happy for that. I mean, KO is going to be probably back.
KO is meta. KO is very meta in VCT. He is not meta at all in like ranked and stuff like that.
Nah, it's just weird. I don't know. Sky is just one that's just always played because it's just so useful. If you're playing single initiator, solo initiator, because it's basically got everything.
Yeah, when we run trios with my buddies, like someone's always got to be Sky because we know no one else is gonna fill in on initiator.
Yeah, so I think KO is going to get buffed inadvertently, but then obviously it's weird because some of the other changes, like the Raze change, buffs Killjoy, but also buffs Cypher. So I mean, Killjoy's still got a ridiculous pick rate, but Cypher coming back. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. But
I'm surprised they didn't address Killjoy, or not even not even her whole kit, mostly just like the mollies. I'm surprised that there was no change about that because everyone's complaining that that's like the most overpowered piece of utility in the game right now.
I think it's Killjoy's also biggest thing is that she can basically control the map. Like she can control like 2 sites at once or get info on 2 sites at once if you have the right setup. So that and the mollies, yeah. I don't know did they reduce the range on the? I don't know. It's something that could be worked out probably.
I think just duration, because basically like people will try to like stack the mollies like back to back, and like like on the ascent on the runway, and then like on Lotus as well. Like it's impossible to like get into is it B site? Yeah, C site. It's impossible to get into C site if you have a KJ. Like you have to have a movement agent like Jet or
Omen. Omen's good.
Yeah, or Omen too, but requires a lot of coordination. But like it just feels like
ranked is very hard.
Yeah, in ranked it's like super hard, but it just feels weird that like you need like 3 people to like coordinate how to like dodge the mollies when KJ all she has to do is put them down.
Yeah,
feels very unfair in my opinion. Although I guess you could shoot them, but you'd have to be close to them.
Yeah, I don't know what the perfect adjustment to Killjoy is, but she's still like strong, one of the strongest. But then Cypher's coming stronger. Then just leave Deadlock. I don't know what they're doing with Deadlock, but hopefully it's something good because she is terrible.
So and ISO is about to be terrible too. That's the craziest part.
ISO, again, like the Raze changes. Bringing in ISO doesn't really make a difference because like the Raze is completely different in terms of how she's going to be played to ISO. So there's no competition there. ISO is just a Reyna 2.0. But.
Yeah, I was talking to 4 last week, and we were talking about ISO. And to me, the biggest thing about it is that it seems like the last 3 agents have not made a change to the meta at all. Like, I'm not talking about like the ranked meta. I'm talking about the VCT meta. Like, Raze and Jet are still not being replaced with new agents. Deadlock is
Yeah.
not replacing Cypher or KJ. And what's the other one? Oh, and Gecko. I love Gecko. It's one of my favorite characters to play, but it's not going to be played in pro play. Like, I think Foot tried doing it last year, and it just did not look good.
The only person was CGRS who could play it well. That's because I think the only reason is because it tends to help PaperX's playstyle. It's very explosive. It's very, contact.
Very exec heavy, basically.
Yeah, very exec, yeah. So very just maybe DRX maybe play it, but I don't know. It's just something that's kind of not useful mid-round, just towards the end round, I guess.
Yeah, so that's like my biggest concern about like these changes is that like they're making small changes, but I feel like sometimes they're a little too late. I wish we could get some
behind
changes to like
with guns. I don't know what they do with guns. Like
I forgot about guns. I totally forgot about. They're adding a new gun.
Yeah, I think this is to do with the counter the light shield meta, possibly.
The Outlaw. I don't know, man. Like it just.
125 damage.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned that this ruins eco rounds.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what the actual gun is. Like, it's cheaper.
The rumor is 125 to the body.
120. That's what I think. 125 to the body because they want to get rid of the light shield meta, which kind of. So I don't know.
I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. I think they're introducing a gun like that is rough. But
it's gonna be. It's gonna be interesting because obviously the light shield has completely changed how the economy works basically because you can buy a lot more. So I wonder if it's gonna like just make less buy rounds and more eco rounds, or more save rounds rather. So you're gonna force to save, so they have to get full shield in case someone has what's it called? The Hunter? I can't remember what it's called.
The Marshal?
The new one.
Oh, the Outlaw.
The Outlaw, that's what it's called, yeah, the Outlaw.
Yeah.
So they don't like run up against an Outlaw with light shields. If it has like crazy movement speed like the Marshal, but then does 125.
I hope not.
Crazy.
Maybe if it's like a little slower than the op, I could see it being somewhat fair.
I thought it'd be like, I was saying that I presume that it's going to have two modes. It's going to have like a right click like the classic, but then the other mode is going to be much slower. This is me guessing, right? I think the right is going to be like a shotgun close range, where, if they're really close range, it's a one shot to the body, but then long range is 125. So that's my guess. Imagine if it's something like that. I don't know.
That would be
could be something
insane.
Like that. So like a shorty, but way more expensive. I don't know. Could be two modes.
God, no. Speaking of like shotguns, hold up.
Thank God the judge. Yeah, the judge.
They've
done it.
Nah, kinda, but not really.
Not really.
Sort of. All right.
I mean,
reduce max mag size from 7 to 5. Increase jumping spread from 1.25 to 2.25. Increase running spread from 0.10 to 0.75. I mean, I don't think
something at least. It's something.
Yeah.
This is the worst, the most. This is basically a sniper. This gun. Okay.
Yeah.
This is precise gameplay was not designed for the judge.
In Project A. Shooting matters. I mean, technically it does.
Yeah, shooting, and also you just aim at their feet and you get kills with it. But the reduced ammo is something that's pretty good because often you'll just have like a guy with a judge in a corner, right? He'll shoot the first two and then he'll come flying around the corner for the third. And he'll occasionally shoot two for that because it's going to be longer range. So hopefully those sort of scenarios are less common, or it's less likely to get multiple kills that way. But the spread is reduced a little bit, right, as well. So hopefully it's not so much of a sniper, but I'm still thinking it's gonna be super strong, and FNS will still be having nightmares. So
probably. Yeah, I'm still having nightmares. NRG. Oh my goodness. What
classic game.
What an absolute failure. But yeah,
Okay.
Judge doesn't change much. I already seen clips with the new Judge. It doesn't look any different.
Yeah.
I think I
that's
honestly
just
think you
something.
just nerf it a little more and put it at the price of Spectre, and we're good. You should only be able to kill one person with the Judge, and that's it. And then you should be able to be traded out.
Yeah. Or okay, you should be able to get 2 kills.
No.
2 kills. if you're not jumping, just please make it so you can't jump with that gun and get kills. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Just make the jumping actually really bad. But yeah.
Bring the Stinger meta back. I love that meta.
No,
that was my favorite meta.
Worst meta. Nah, Bucky
Worst meta. It was
the
awesome.
Ares meta. Ares meta was the worst.
I heard that was awful. I didn't play during that time.
Yeah. It was the either that meta or the Astra meta. That was like when Sentinel, I'm pretty sure that's the first. The Astra Viper meta. It's like you wait until like 10 seconds before you can execute, because Astra's got like 20 billion bits of util. You can't get in anywhere.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I wish I could have experienced buffed Astra, because I love playing Astra on Split.
Yeah, on Split she was like ridiculously good.
She still is. I'm not gonna lie.
Still good.
I'm not sure why people don't play more Astra on Split, but she's awesome.
Double smokes, she's very good. Very good.
Okay, let's talk about the showcase matches, particularly the Sen G2 match, because that's the one I watched. I did not watch the Moist Moguls one, or the Moist Shopify.
Moist Shopify, yeah.
Moist Shopify. Yeah. So, my biggest takeaway from the Sen G2 match was that G2 is not ready. They probably literally just signed Leaf like a couple of weeks, like a week ago or something.
I mean, they did choke. They did choke very hard on Sunset.
G210. That is the joke.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know that Valorant is a very good IGL.
For sure.
And slotting in a duelist, it shouldn't be too hard. You saw it with other teams. You saw it with oh god, I'm blanking now. You saw it with EG, how they slotted in Demon 1 as the duelist.
Right.
They moved around a few roles, but I mean, Leaf is a very good. And I said Leaf was a flex player, and people got mad at me. But Leaf is one of the best flex players, I think, because he can play anything pretty much.
Yeah, I agree. Leaf is very versatile. I mean, he showed it in his time at Cloud9, so.
Yeah, I mean, he plays a lot of different. I mean, it's good for a replacement for Tex. He was primarily a duelist as well, chamber player. But yeah, I think give it time. I think they'll be very, very strong. I mean, I think Trent is still one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, they just gotta work a little bit on their chemistry. That's about it, really. I mean,
you got the 4 of them, and you got Leaf. I mean, Leaf seems like he's a pretty. I remember on Cloud9, a lot of people would talk about how he was like, he wouldn't play ranked, but he'd only watch a lot of demos. He'd watch a lot of demos. So you only give it a certain amount of time, and they're going to be very good. Because Leaf, I think he has a great brain for the game as well. So
yeah, the only I'm looking at the stats. I mean, he did amazing with Raze on Sunset, and then kind of fell off with the Unbind with her as well, and then like on Ascent, I mean, he was just jetting.
That was like
he did.
Yeah, that was like the fun match, I guess, because they had already lost.
Yeah. So, I mean,
the Sentinels team, on the other hand,
Sentinels.
Interesting. Not playing with Bancada and winning this match.
Oh my gosh, it's so dumb, man. People.
The GOAT.
I don't know about the GOAT, but
he's not the GOAT, but he's very good.
He's very good.
I rate him highly, so.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Loud, so.
Oh.
Excellent.
You're a Loud fan?
Well.
No, I'm just kidding. that's my like number 2 team. It's always like NRG, Optic, or Loud. It's because I'm from the US and I'm Brazilian at the same time, so it's hard to like.
Oh, there you go.
But I know they're rivals, so it's like I'm supposed to hate the other one. I just can't. It's hard for me. Anyway,
you got 2 very good teams to root for. Wow.
Yeah, John QT. I think he's gonna do good. Like he has that fragging ability that just Depth never had.
Yeah, I mean, I think Def got screwed over a lot, but I think John QT is very good.
I agree. I think the online community is just like over the top about everything.
Reactionary, yeah. Very reactionary.
Just think about it, like the last 2 weeks. Like we had the Moist Moguls match, and we also had the G2 match, and people are already calling for Pancata to be replaced. And I'm like, bro, come on.
He doesn't miss. He doesn't miss.
No.
He does miss against Moist Moguls. But no, he's very good, so.
Yeah,
I mean, John QT, yeah. He played on, I believe it was Ghost before, and then he played at MAT, and both those teams, he improved drastically. I mean, MAT had a lot of, I mean, they were very close to qualifying, of course, to Ascension.
Yeah, second place.
Very different. And they had the GOAT Nismo on that team, so he's the chef, and he chefs up in the server as well. So I'm sad that he doesn't get any partnership teams, but you know, it is what it is. I think John QT will be very good on Sentinels.
Yeah.
And it's the TENS problem. Is what's going to happen with if you manage to utilize TENS well, then it'll be a very strong team.
Which it seems like they're doing that, putting him like on mostly like initiator.
Yeah, on Deflect. Yeah.
On Yoru, I guess.
Yoru on Bind. Yeah.
Although I don't know how long that'll last, because when Paper Rex were running Yoru, I mean, team like at first, it was pretty big success because it's hard to counter in the spot, but now it's like if
pretty common.
If you saw the champions match, they ran Yoru and Breach combo and they read all their plays.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think Paper X is like one of a kind team, but I don't know. I don't know if a team like Sentinels could run any comps like Paper X. It'd be very interesting. I don't think they could. I don't think they have like a Reina. They have something. They don't have a Reina player who could just run around killing everyone.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone's built like Paper X at the moment. Maybe Leviathan.
That's true. That's a weird. That is
a weird team.
A strange roster.
Yes.
I wonder how. I've watched some of the content they produced. The English seems fine, so it's just a communication thing basically.
Yeah.
If you can get to scratch.
It'll take time, but I mean they looked good against. They played Crew, right? A little bit ago.
They did, yeah. And apparently there was something in the chat that I didn't.
Oh yeah, there was some.
I don't know. Don't look at that chat.
NSFW stuff.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't.
Bad chat moderation or something. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they won, right? I believe versus Crew. Today.
Yeah. So off-season stuff, I wouldn't take it too seriously. Like people overreact to this type of thing, and I'd just say
the method is going to be very different.
It's really just practice. Yeah, and I'm sure we're gonna get a couple of patch changes, between now and the beginning of the season.
Deadlock's going to come, I hope. It's going to be big. It's going to be the best stage in the game.
God, please help us. I want her to be viable. I don't want to see her on every map because I hate the wall thing. I think it's
the wall thing. Yeah.
Stupid.
My idea, the remote wall is coming. They copied my idea. Riot's going to put it into the game. Remote wall, activate from anywhere.
Okay, I need you to give me an Asian idea. So then, like 2 years from now, you can
gonna be in the game.
So it's in the game. So that way we can have our own like Bren moment.
All right. There's gonna be an agent where you can leapfrog over your teammates. Right?
What?
You go behind your teammate and you leapfrog and you like fly onto site like a race satchel, but you have to have a teammate to use that ability. So like stand behind a teammate, you leapfrog over the teammate.
Uh,
That's what I've discovered.
that's actually fire. Hey, but her upside needs to be that when she leapfrogs, she's fully accurate.
She's fully accurate, yeah. And has
Yeah.
like, you know, in Overwatch where it said, what's his name? Lucio. You
Mhm.
can like bounce off walls. Yeah, you can do that. Like
Oh.
a frog, you can jump. You can like jump up a wall.
Talk about movement duelists, am I right?
And then her ult, or their ult, I guess. They get like a giant frog tongue, and they pull people in, like Roadhog. Or like, yeah.
She has a little like she needs to
Yeah,
have
you
like
can,
a
like-
chamber shorty basically.
Yeah, and it like hooks them in, and then they can't shoot. So it's like a skill. It's like a skill move. You have to
Wow.
like aim it perfectly,
Wow.
and they basically like detains them for a couple seconds. That's
You-
my age. That's
you
coming
heard
to
it
the
here
game.
first.
Leapfrog.
My Hero Academia Frog Girl X
Exactly.
Roadhog.
Coming to the game.
Yes,
Confirmed.
sir. All right. Yeah, mine is much more unoriginal. Mine's just an attack chamber.
Just attack chamber.
Okay. Let's talk about some end of the year awards. And before you start yours, because you're leading the segment, I will start with mine. Mine is biggest choke of the season. That goes to NRG.
Of course it does.
Because that team was supposed to win it all. They had artists, the best EMEA player. They had the optic core.
I'd say Dirk was better than him, but
Okay. Well, yeah, that's true. Never mind. Okay. How do
he's
I
one of the
rephrase?
best. Top 3.
The best
Top 3.
2022 EMEA player.
Okay. The best chamberer.
Yeah, the best chamber from EMEA. They had the optic core, and they had Som, who was pretty much a 1-for-1 for Marv, even though I hate to admit it. But I don't know how that core fell apart, how that team fell apart.
I know. It's just one man with a judge. They broke him.
I hate the judge.
That forevermore. It'll be installed into your brain. I actually have a different answer for biggest choke. More like a biggest disappointment, and that's 100 Thieves. They had everything. They're literally the best clutch player of the year before. Probably the best chamber in NA. Cryocells. They had the best flex players. Sooner. And the best IGLs. So and they had the best controller, probably. Top 2 in NA. Top 3 maybe. NA. Okay.
No. Okay, top 3 NA. Okay, top 3 NA. I'll give you that.
Top 3 NA. Bang. He was looking like incredible.
He's young. He'll bounce back.
But yeah, I don't know what went wrong. I think it was the cryocells thing not being in. He was super passive. I think that was their problem, right?
Well, that happens to Ye too, so it's not like
it's
not a new thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess same thing with artists. Yeah.
It was like the chamber thing screwed a lot of players over, and if they didn't adapt, then it just it was. I mean, Cryocell, he got that cool ace on Jet, remember, on Pearl, but yeah, it was a weird thing, and also they were. I mean, MLBR, they did get screwed over by MLBR, but it's of course, it had to happen. It was the timeline, that one knife.
It's the canon event.
It's gonna happen. It had to happen. So for them, it was just unlucky, really. But yeah, that's my biggest choke, disappointment, really.
Yeah. All right, give me the proper awards, and I'll give my opinion on it too.
The best game of this year. And of course, for me, being a Fnatic fan, I had to go to the lock-in grand final. Probably the best map of Valorant I've ever seen.
No, it's 100% like that was the objective, like, game of the year.
Game of the year for me. Well, the map of the year, I would say, because the rest of the game was alright, but that map sort of like that's why people want to watch Valorant. If you want to,
I was on the edge of my seat that entire because they won 2, they lost 2, and then like on Icebox, it was
owning.
I don't know,
smooth sailing. Then it's crazy. Dirk won a 1v2, and then it just kept sparring from there. You got the Alfia 1v2 as well in there. Got Aspas they're coming back into overtime again, and they lose in overtime. Aspas almost wins a 1v4 in overtime, first round. They get shock darted. It's crazy. Crazy game. Just crazy in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my favorite. I don't know what your favorite.
I talked about it last episode with 4, but it was Loud versus NRG.
That's a good game. That's a good game with the 2's clutch.
Yeah, dude, like the whole atmosphere of it, like when NRG, even like before the game, when they were coming into the stadium, the fans were chanting "Dubai Mohe, Dubai Mohe."
You're gonna die.
Which, translates to "You're gonna die," and I was like, "Oh, dude, this is sick." Like it just feels like there isn't a rivalry that is equivalent to Loud versus NRG, and I don't think there ever will be. Not that there ever will be, but it'll take some time before we get something similar.
Maybe Busia versus China. Maybe that'll be the next one.
Oh, that would be funny. That would be funny.
China. That's the
EDG. I hope they win Shanghai, to be honest.
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be high. That'd be crazy if they did. I mean, I'm looking at the Chinese Evolution series. The crowds there are insane. They love Kankan. He does anything. Gets a kill with it all. They go crazy. So.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Next award. Best Sentinel player. Controversial. I know. A lot of people got mad at me when I said Alfie was better than Less.
What?
Now. Yeah, I know. I was like...
People got mad?
People got mad. People did. They were typing in Portuguese, I will say. So people got mad.
I don't know. I don't think so, because if you think about it, go ahead.
This was later on. This was after they'd lost. So people came back to my video and they're like, "Yeah, look, Fnatic just lost twice to Loud. So obviously Less is better." But I would put Alfie better than Less this year.
I think
previous years was obviously better.
I think overall, Alpha is definitely the better player. In the 2 instances where like they played Loud, I mean, Loud had a vendetta against these guys.
Yeah, I mean,
it was inevitable.
When Less gets going, don't get me wrong, Less is like, I rate him as like a really good player. I mean, when you watch him, it's like, looks like he's not even aiming. He just like knows where they are, and like his first bullet accuracy is ridiculous. He just taps. His aiming style is very unique in that sense. It's not like super flicky. It's very precise. You know, you can see he's a very smart player. So, yeah. But I think Alfie this year was better. He's probably the best Sentinel.
Overall, they're better. But yeah, Less is definitely like a close number 2. I mean, he just had some amazing moments. But
yes,
the 2 trophies speak for themselves. Like no one,
and the MVP. So yeah.
I'm not going to take anything away from Alpha. He definitely deserves our magical award for
Best Sentinel.
Best Sentinel.
I mean, a bit biased here, but yeah.
All right. Yeah, next one. I
the
have
other
to
one would
agree.
be the best initiator. Now, I would say here that Leo is the best initiator and also the best player in the world, but some would disagree.
Best player in the world? I don't know.
Best teammate, best team player. I'll say that. Best team player. Every decision he makes is like pretty much flawless. In Champions, he was still actually pretty highly rated, I think. But I think he's the best initiator, best, and probably top 3 player in the world. That's just my opinion.
I'm gonna have to say Ethan.
That's a respectable pick.
I'm
an Ethan fan, especially from CS. I used to watch him a lot in CS.
Let me make sure that I'm not like talking out my ass here. Nope. Yeah, Sky and KO. Absolutely Ethan. He just like everything he does, like especially like how you were saying, like team oriented. Ethan does whatever the team needs. He's not an ego player in the least of it, like at all. Like I never see him doing dumb like overextending or overheating, playing away from teammates, not setting other people up. Like he's very flawless in that sense, that he's always supporting other people.
Yeah. If you want a like perfect example of how to play KO on Ascent, you should have watched Ethan. Like the flashes he does, the knives, just the way he rotates around is very good, especially on defense, like to help his teammates.
Yeah.
It's like a perfect example of how to play KO on Ascent. Just Ethan. Yeah, but I would think Leo is generally
The most underrated initiator has to be Zeppa. Zeppa is
that's true.
insane.
I know. He's very good and very underrated. It's just that, you know, Cloud9 did have to
joking of an organization.
I don't know. Yeah, but we'll see. They won that event in Korea, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Is it cookie tournaments, brownie tournaments? I can't remember.
Something like that.
Something with a
Mickey
pastry
Mouse.
in it. Mickey Mouse. There you go. Mickey Mouse tournament. That's not a pastry at all. What the hell am I talking about?
Well,
Mickey Mouse.
can be.
tournament.
You know, you get the Mickey Mouse things at Disneyland, little biscuits,
That's true.
cookies in America.
Yeah, I was just at Disneyland a couple months ago.
Okay.
Maybe that's why.
That's why.
I assume the next one's duelist or controller.
Well, you guessed right. I'm gonna go with controller first. So.
All right, controller.
Okay, I would like to say Boaster, but I'm not going to.
No,
Because
that is definitely a no.
That's not. But that's a troll answer. The best controller, I mean, Demon 1. No, I'm joking. He did play Astra that
His
one time.
one brimstone on Fracture.
Yeah. That was good. He got the ace. Epic. And he played Astra one time as well.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's
trying to think. You know what? I actually don't know who would be the best. I'm trying to...
I think Som.
Maybe Forsaken. He has been playing a lot of Harbor. He did own on Harbor.
Hot take.
Oh, he's more of a flex. He's more of a flex.
Hot take. I
more of a
actually think Forsaken threw for Paper X.
He threw in the final.
Yeah, in the final.
Maybe.
Maybe. That threw my list off because it was on Lotus. He just kept peeking. I'm like,
Yeah.
Stop.
I
You're
mean,
not gonna
you know,
you're not gonna do anything. You have no
Paper X
escape
way.
utility.
It's true. Yeah. Som's up there.
Except for
Maybe
when they
I mean,
choked
he was so
on
good for the
Pearl.
whole year. He was so good for the whole year. But
Maybe that's
it's
the
like-
same. Maybe it's similar, but on Icebox he was unstoppable.
yeah, I mean his Lotus Harbor was really good. But yeah. Som, maybe, yeah. Som. I'll give it to Som. Best controller.
Yeah, best controller. If not,
And the
like,
best
he's not a
duelist.
rookie either, though. That's hard to say, but
No,
maybe
yes,
like
he's
comeback player of the
played
year
CS
for sure.
before. He played in the early days. No, not the
He
early days,
looks
but he
so
played with
young.
NRG.
That's why. That's probably
Yeah.
why.
Yeah. Best duelist. Now there's many ways you could go. There's got Durka. There's Demon 1. He did say it himself he was the best player in the world, so this is really hard for me because
Put some respect on his
stats
name.
Demon 1, like, I actually put them like probably joint. Because Durka only played Raze and he still owned on the first two events. Like I'm pretty sure he played like Jet twice or something. So he played the most broken agent, like barely. He still owned.
Yeah, I think
And
there's
Demon 1's aim is just insane. So I don't know.
there's a really
It's
heavy like recency bias in my opinion.
There's a very yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like you got to think how good Durka was in the first two events.
So yeah, I'd say joint, just because like I don't want to dismiss what Demon 1 has done for that team.
Yeah,
But
he
I
basically
also
elevated
don't want to
to
like
level.
I don't know. I don't want to
think
under my
any-
Durka either.
Any other duelists that would be up there? I mean, something would be again.
Yeah,
very
but
close behind.
if you look
But
at the
wasn't in
stats, if you look at the stats for champions, he kind of got carried by his team.
He did. Jing was kind of crazy.
Jing, yeah, probably Jing, because they always run double duel.
Jing would be up there, but I think it's got to be Durka and Doom 1 as the top two. So yeah, that is my pick for best duelist. Those two.
Yeah.
I don't know
Best
if you have any
flex?
other best flex. Ooh, it's a hard pick.
Jajima. For
Oh,
me.
of course. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Georgia.
Which is crazy because none of those guys are gonna play. Like
Or Chronicle.
Chronicle, yeah, sure. Actually,
But he had a rough
actually,
champions.
now that you bring up Chronicle, ooh, it's kind of
I
hard
rate
for me
Chronicle
to
pretty
say.
highly, but Jorgamo did have a very good champions along with Demon One.
And then
Yeah,
IGL and Coach, it has to be Poster and Mini,
Erstrom Mini.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, just on star factor alone, I think Boaster.
I mean, they literally
such
put the
a-
best. They got the best 6
They got the
players
best,
technically
yeah.
from EMEA because they had that substitute who absolutely destroyed
Yeah.
as well. He's actually going to another team.
Yeah, he's having.
Good for
I
him.
think he had a rough time. He had a rough time trying to get to a team, and then I think he got signed. So yeah.
Well, I think he's gonna be insane. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, we're still pretty young. I think there's so much talent in EMEA that sort of the problem with EMEA, a lot of the stuff gets recycled around. Actually, same thing in NA. Actually,
Same thing in NA. Yeah, absolutely.
so
People,
yeah.
I mean, I think I talked with 4 about this. Can't remember, but people are, or actually maybe I talked about it in a video, the tier list one, the 10s thing, about how he like this might be his last year to prove himself.
Yeah,
So
I think so.
yeah, we're on the same boat. He'll probably just still be a content creator for Sent, but
He
I
is
would-
the money man.
the money.
He's the money man.
Yeah, or as a 6th, really.
I mean, I heard this is a CS thing. I was listening to a podcast, and they were saying salaries are defined usually in esports not by their performance, but how many followers they have and how much they can bring in terms of views to the team. So,
Yep.
hence he's the money man. He's got the most followers of any Valorant player, I believe. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, that has been the 2023 awards brought to you by Ford. So,
Zeph.
yeah. Yes, also me. So, what you got coming up? Wrap it up here.
What have I got coming up? Oh, I've got a video that I'm doing. It's called. It's in the works. I think it's a Valorant guide for beginners or explaining Valorant for beginners, but it's like for like people who don't know much about like video games or just esports in general. So it's like
Nice.
Valorant guide for beginners (parentheses) and for parents. So that's the video I'm working on right now.
Yeah, actually, I had that idea a long time ago too, but I talked to my dad about it. He's like, bro, because he's an older guy. He's like, I told him, would you watch this? And he's like, no. And I was like, all right, well, it's fine. Because like,
Yeah.
he'll sit down and watch a match or 2 with me like throughout the year, and I'm like, do you get what's going on? He's like, nah, not really.
That's what parents same thing. Yeah, they're a bit old, not older. I'll say they're older. Don't be rude.
But I think it's good for like parents who don't like their kids are asking for a PC to play Valorant, and they're like, what am I even getting you a PC
Yeah.
for? Yeah. And they kind of look it up. And I think it'll be good. I think it's one of those like timepieces, really. Like it won't do.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll do well initially. No offense.
yeah.
But like over time, it'll.
I think it's
accumulate
just a long-term video. But then I think the one I'm working on after that is going to be a remake, not a remake, but an original video by Clicky Crisp. He made a video called CS:GO, but it's an RPG, and I've always wanted to do a video like that, but Valorant, but it's an RPG.
I'd have to watch that.
Which
But that
was
does
like-
sound funny.
Which was like an edit that he basically made CS:GO look like RuneScape, I believe, and then Skyrim.
Mm.
So I wanted to do something like that. That was
Okay.
my idea. Yeah.
Alright. Well, if you didn't watch any of the other episodes, I have the Haters Guide of Game Changers Championship coming up. And I recently made a post on my community tab that, for the most part, I'm just going to be doing Duo Q and the Haters Guide for Game Changers Championship. And I will not be doing anything else because it is not worth my time. like the views for VCT content are very much down.
It's got it'll come back up.
It'll come back up. Like I'll be back
It'll
for the next season, but
yeah,
for the most part. And then I was like, since we were talking about beginners guides, sometime before the season starts, I'll have the haters guide, which will be like the version where like people who already know about VCT, like I can do all the jokes about that stuff. And then I'll probably have a beginner's guide to VCT in general. So like if you're from APAC, Pacific, EMEA, or NA, or even China, then you can watch that guide if you've never watched VCT before and understand what's going on, or pick a team, because anytime I've tried to get into another sport, I'm always looking for a guide of like, wait, what team should I be a fan of? And then there's never anything like that. So I think I'm going to do a beginner's guide to VCT. So that'll be cool. I don't think it'll get views, but it'll be for like the next 2 years. It'll be relevant because, you know, G2 and Bleed, and I don't remember the EMEA qualifier. Oh, Gentlemates. So
Gentlemates.
It'll be relevant for 2 years, and then I'll get to do it all over again later. So,
I look forward to that.
Yep. All right. For my buddy Ford here, I'm Zeph. We'll see you in the next episode, where we have a big surprise for all you guys. Till then, later.
Goodbye. Thanks for watching.